All right, we've got a lot to unpack today in this explainer. We're looking at a match that honestly left a lot of us absolutely speechless. The US men's national team's heartbreaking 4-1 loss to Belgium in Seattle. We're going to look closely at exactly how and why this elimination happened, pulling directly from ESPN's post-match analysis and player ratings. Look, I know it's a somber topic for US soccer fans, but structurally, it is a fascinating case study in how a match can just completely unravel on the biggest stage.
Okay, let's dive into this. We'll start with another round of 16 exit, look at the timeline of the collapse, evaluate Pochettino's tactics, and then break down the defensive disasters and attacking struggles before the final whistle.
Section 1. Another round of 16 exit. The heartbreak at Lumen Field.
This number, man, it hurts, but it is absolutely essential context. This exit marks the 4th time in the past 5 World Cups that the US men's national team has met its end right here in the round of 16. It's a massive hurdle that the team simply has not been able to clear. They get out of the group stage, expectations skyrocket, and then they hit a wall. And against Belgium, that wall proved to be entirely insurmountable.
And if you want to know exactly when the writing was on the wall for this specific match, it was the moment Charles de Ketelaere scored in the 9th minute for Belgium. Why? Because of a truly devastating statistic, 0-0-7. Forget James Bond for a second. Heading into Monday's game, the USMNT had 0 wins, 0 draws, and 7 losses in World Cup knockout games when giving up the first goal. Giving up that early strike wasn't just bad. Historically speaking, it was literally a doom sequence.
Section 2. Timeline of the collapse, an emotional roller coaster. Just look at how this match flowed. It started poorly with that ominous 9th minute goal from Ketelaere. But then, in the 31st minute, Malik Tillman lines up a free kick. It deflects off a defender, gets past the Beau Courtois, and boom, the US ties the game. It's this incredible moment of hope, right? The momentum is shifting. But then, just 52 seconds later, Ketelaere rises up for a massive header and scores again. The deflation was absolute. It completely crushed the American momentum, right there on the spot. From there, a 57th minute error by the US goalkeeper essentially sealed it. And Romelu Lukaku's 93rd minute dagger was just rubbing salt in the wound.
Section 3. Evaluating Pochettino's tactics. The Architect's Dilemma.
So ESPN handed manager Mauricio Pochettino a perfectly average rating of 5 out of 10. He recognized things clearly weren't working in the first half, so he made a major tactical shift at halftime. He decided to pull Serginho Dest and sub in Gio Reyna, desperately hoping it would provide some kind of offensive spark to get them back into the game. And this brilliantly illustrates the dilemma Pochettino faced. He was immediately put on the back foot. I mean, Belgium took 6 shots in the first 11 minutes alone. The US was forced to heavily defend and really struggled to just control possession in the midfield. And while bringing on Reyna was a totally logical halftime adjustment to chase an equalizer, it was completely undone by a catastrophic individual error in the 57th minute. You can draw up the best tactics in the world, but you can't always plan for individual mistakes. Section 4. Defensive disasters and mistakes. Breaking down the backline. Okay, this is rough reading for the American defense. Looking at the backline, almost the entire unit received remarkably poor ratings of 3s and 4s out of 10. Tim Ream and Chris Richards at center back both got 3s, largely for being caught out of position and quite literally just watching the ball during crucial sequences. And Tony Robinson got a 4, and Alex Freeman got a 3. The defensive unit simply could not handle the intense physical and tactical pressure applied by the Belgians.
But the lowest rating of the match goes to goalkeeper Matt Freese, who earned a severe 2 out of 10. His decision-making was questioned early when he completely misread the sequence on Belgium's first goal. Then he was caught out of position on the second goal. But the absolute nail in the coffin was that fatal second-half blunder. He tried to play the ball outside his area, it deflected horribly off de Ketelaere, fell right to Hans Vanaken, and resulted in the goal that made it 3-1. It was a completely self-inflicted disaster.
If we look step by step at how the right side of the defense collapsed, we see a distinct pattern that led directly to both of de Ketelaire's first half goals. Step 1. Serginho Dest, who was actually playing an attacking midfield role but dropping back to help, was flat out beaten to a clearance ball on the initial sequence of the first goal. Step 2. On the second goal, right back Alex Freeman comes over to help way too late as Leandro Trossard sends a devastating cross into the box. Tactical delays and lost 50-50 balls basically destroyed the right flank.
Section 5.
attacking struggles and sparks, the frontline review. Moving up to the midfield and forwards, it's pretty clear the US struggled to control the center of the park. Weston McKennie and Tyler Adams both earned 4s. They failed to facilitate the attack, and Belgium routinely got beyond Adams early on to threaten the back line. On the slightly brighter side, Malik Tillman and striker Folarin Balogun offered average 5s, doing the absolute best they could with very limited service.
But we have to talk about this number again. Another 2 out of 10 rating. This time it goes to the star attacker, Christian Pulisic. This was a severe underperformance on the biggest possible stage.
Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is the stark contrast between Pulisic's two halves. His first half was disastrous. He lost possession 11 times. That's the most of any player on the entire field. The Belgians completely suffocated him. Now, he did come out with a stronger early push in the second half, showing just a bit more of that characteristic spark, but his match was cut short when he was subbed out in the 59th minute due to an apparent injury.
Still, despite the overall gloom, there were a few offensive sparks that tried to keep the US alive. We already talked about Tillman's deflected free kick goal in the 31st minute that briefly tied things up. Balogun was active, he kept finding threatening spots, and even forced a really solid save from Courtois in the 81st minute, and substitute Sebastian Berhalter almost brought the house down with a very dangerous long-range chance in the 79th minute. They fought, they really did, but it just wasn't enough.
Section 6. The final whistle. The aftermath.
I want to read this quote directly from the ESPN analysis because it hits the nail on the head. Belgium handed USA a World Cup reality check, and now the inquest begins. This perfectly captures the gravity of the situation. A 4-1 loss isn't just bad luck, you guys. It is a harsh reality check. The player ratings we just walked through reveal deep systemic issues in passing, defensive marking, and composure under pressure that absolutely have to be addressed.
So I will leave you with this. What must the US men's national team actually change to finally shatter this round of 16 curse? Is it a fundamental shift in tactical philosophy? A massive overhaul in how we develop center backs? Or is this purely a mental block on the world's biggest stage? Let me know your thoughts. Like and subscribe for more stories.